Hey everyone, it's Elizabeth here. So today I just want to share some thoughts on how to overcome adversity like a champion. Life is not easy. I think everybody knows this, and at some point in our life we're going to encounter certain obstacles and challenges that are going to be very difficult to overcome in our life. This can happen in the workplace or in our relationships, but also with our children, our home life, our finances. It can happen anywhere. And for some people, when it rains, it pours. And sometimes we encounter obstacles and challenges or adversity in more than one area of life. And so I think when we are realistic that these things are going to happen, we have to kind of equip ourselves with a sound mind and a sound attitude in order to overcome some of these challenges. So just some thoughts that I want to share today. We're going to look at attitude, kind of picking ourselves up by our bootstraps, learning from our past mistakes, and celebrating adversity as an overall optimistic challenge in our life. So when you encounter a really rough patch in your life, you have to look at your attitude. Are you a victim, or are you going to do something about this? A lot of times when something happens to us, we can become a victim to this situation. Now, there are legitimate issues in life where we are a victim. For example, if somebody gets raped, or obviously a family member gets murdered, that's an extreme example, but you are a victim of something that was unjust and very unfair. But for example, if you get fired from your job, you can maintain a very bitter and victim-like mentality, or you can kind of look at that challenge or obstacle and kind of flip it to kind of see the silver lining, being like, you know what, maybe getting fired from this job set me free. And instead of just moping around saying, oh, I got fired from my job, it's like, you're going to be a doer. You can be a doer and apply and look for other opportunities that are better for you. Maybe it's a less toxic work environment, or maybe you'll find a boss that's not a micromanager. So when you're looking at your attitude, you have to realize that this didn't happen to you, but it happened for you. And when things happen for you, generally it's releasing you to the next step in your life, to something that's hopefully better and more positive than things that happened in your past. Another way to overcome obstacles like a champion is to take that doer mindset and pick yourself up by your bootstraps and really do something about it. When you are in rock bottom, or when you are in a path like a gray zone and you don't really know exactly what to do, this is an optimal time for change. You pick yourself up and then you do something about your life. So for example, a lot of people who've been left by their spouse, or maybe by a boyfriend or girlfriend, but a lot of times going through a divorce is, it's not that it's more tragic than a breakup. Any breakup is bad and it's hard, or it's painful to the heart, but a divorce, there's something deeper in that. And if your spouse or your wife or your husband comes up and says, I'm going to leave you, and X, Y, and Z, these are the reasons why, you can sit there as a victim and be like, oh my God, this is so bad, or you can really be empathetic and listen and learn from their point of view and take this as an opportunity to change. For example, when my husband told me last year that he was going to leave me, he had legitimate feelings on certain things that I did or did not do. And you know what? It's like, okay, if I came across as cold and detached, I didn't think of it. I didn't think of myself as a cold and detached human being, but I really looked at some of the things that I did, and I realized, oh my God, I don't want to be perceived as a cold and detached person. So these are the things that I need to do to change, to make it look like that I'm not, just because it's like certain things, like I get in my head about stuff and it kind of shut down. So anyways, you pick yourself up by your bootstraps, you admit things that you've done wrong or the other party has done wrong, and then you can move forward to things that you can change to better your life or your situation. Another way to kind of overcome adversity is to really look at this situation or obstacle or problem from a neutral standpoint and just really start to learn from your mistakes. Obviously, once we kind of overcome the adverse situation, we can look back and repeat the exact same thing that we did in our life, or we can move forward, walk forward, not sideways, and learn from your past mistakes and make a commitment to yourself to say that I am not going to make this mistake ever again. I see this a lot in interpersonal relationships. Sometimes people are just drawn toward toxic relationships, and some of this is coming from their own lack of self-worth or self-esteem. Some of it, they're addicted to lust or to drama and things like that. But if you keep repeating the same mistakes, life will keep sending you the same lessons until you actually do something about the situation and move forward and make a commitment that this type of stuff or behavior is not going to enter your life ever again. The last thing is that I want to touch on is that we really should celebrate adversity as a challenge. This kind of goes back to the first key point about your attitude. Sometimes things have to fall apart in your life in order for certain things to come or fall back together. Whether that would be the same situation is kind of falling back together, or maybe one part of your life fell apart but it set you on a new path to a better and brighter future. You have to look at this as something that is going to make you a better person, but you have to choose that. You can sit back and just do nothing and just kind of mope through life and be very bitter and angry and move through life without trusting people. Or you can take this as a challenge to really look at yourself, look at your situation, look at everything, your actions, your thoughts, your behaviors, and just take responsibility from it. I've been fired from a job before. I worked for the government. It is impossible to get fired from the government, and somehow I did. And you know what? Getting let go from that job, though I technically resigned, set me into an entirely new direction in my career to not only work in corporate fitness, but to have an amazing boss that I haven't physically seen in 2.5 years, because there's a bunch of trust and I get the job done, that he doesn't have to look over my shoulder. There is just this inherent trust. And so, although I was, kind of moping like, oh, this is going to be really bad for my resume and my career, you know what? It happened, and it set me up to something that was better and brighter. And I've been at that other job for almost 6 years now. So when you can celebrate these obstacles or these negative things that happen to you, and you can kind of see the silver lining from it, or you take it as a challenge that, okay, this is going to set me up to a better path in life or make me a better person, then it changes your attitude naturally. So I would really like to know some of the thoughts that you think about adversity. I have some blog links below that kind of help shed some light and give some thoughts in regards to this topic about overcoming adversity and obstacles and things like that. But I'd love to know your feedback or what your thoughts are, and I hope everyone has a great rest of your day. Please subscribe below. That would really help start to build up this channel, and I hope to see you guys soon. Okay, bye.